I remember many years ago when our beloved Homi Bhabha was first interviewed by Time magazine. He was asked how it was possible that so technologically retarded a country as India could produce a scientist and other scientists as advanced and formidable as Homi. Homi gave the classic and perfect answer. It is true, he said, that India neither invented nor produced the motor car, the refrigerator, the airplane, nor did it manufacture these in the overwhelming quantities of other industrialized countries. But for hundreds of years, when the Indian peasant did not have to work, he sat in the shade of a tree and thought. He thought a philosophy of truth in life, and he thought as an artist in action.
Our first duty as scientists is to establish the truth. Crash of an aircraft on Mont Blanc, the world of science and art has lost one of the most distinguished men of our times.
But he was an aristocrat, out and out, and mostly, a kind of westernized aristocrat.
What do you mean by an aristocrat? I mean, this is something I just do not understand.
Rationality, and his way of getting things done.
If you really like the good things in life, yes, definitely. Did he have an artistic bent? Yes. To have things which work perfectly? Yes, definitely. And if that is your definition of aristocracy, I agree with you. Yes, he's an aristocrat.
Baba, black tea, have you any wool? Yes, sir, tea, black wool.
Homi Bhabha had the good fortune to be a member of a family with a long tradition of learning. He joined King's College, Cambridge in 1927 and studied engineering. And in June 1930 he did obtain a first class in the mechanical sciences tripos, and thereafter went on to work as a research student in theoretical physics. It was a period also of great interest and excitement in the world of theoretical physics. In October 1933, he published his first scientific paper. In this, he described the part played by electron showers in the absorption of cosmic radiation. He returned to India in 1939 and was appointed a reader in the Institute of Science at Bangalore in 1940, and 2 years later became professor of cosmic ray research.
Bhabha really wanted to develop another department of theoretical physics.
Why?
See, there was already a well-established, flourishing school of physics under Raman here.
Accordingly, in a letter dated the 19th August 1943 from Bangalore, I wrote to Mr. Bhabha that with lack of proper conditions and intelligent financial support hampers the growth and development of science in India, and suggested that the Tata Trust might take the initiative in founding an institute for fundamental research. This decision was taken more than a year before the atomic bomb exploded over Hiroshima.
Our first duty as scientists is to establish the truth, and in this matter, our responsibility to humanity transcends our allegiance to any state.
Divi Surya Sahasrasya Bhavet Yuga Padukhita
यदि भासरुचिता स्यात् भासस्तस्य महात्मनः तत्रैकस्थं जगत्कृत्स्नं प्रविभक्तमनेकधा.
But they were not so successful like Dr. Bhabha.
Well, they were operating in different environments. I
have not known Dr. Bhatnagar personally, and even Dr. Bhabha was a rather distant kind of a person. So what one can see more is, or I can see more, is phenomenologically, seeing the way the institute, our institute has grown, and how other labs have grown.
Well, this institute was first built around one man, namely Homi Bhabha himself.
On the other hand, the CSIR laboratory built by Bhatnagar, they started from the opposite direction, with buildings first, and then selecting people to fit into some slots. Now, where Bhabha has succeeded, I think, is because of the philosophy adopted of growing around people.
Men are more important than atom bombs.
When the United Nations decided in 1954 to convene a conference on the peaceful uses of atomic energy, Homi Bhabha was unanimously elected as the chairman of this great conference. This address was notable for its long-range predictions.
I venture to predict that a method will be found for liberating fusion energy in a controlled manner within the next 2 decades. When that happens, the energy problems of the world will truly have been solved forever, for the fuel will be as plentiful as the heavy hydrogen in the oceans.
Now, with careful analysis, he could foresee situations way ahead of the time that he was in. For instance, for a man to say that when atomic energy becomes an economic proposition, India will not be found wanting in scientists.
I think it's not an exaggeration to say that this institute was the cradle of our atomic energy program.
This is a considerable achievement in a country in which the psychological atmosphere is such that in every other sphere, the moment we think of starting a new project, we immediately think of finding a foreign consultant.
Reached criticality at 3:45 p.m. on August 4th.
I named this swimming pool reactor Apsara.
What all different methods Doctor adopted to overcome obstacles in the men's minds in the bureaucracy for the success of scientific research in India?
He plainly told the administrators that they are working for the sake of the scientists and for the sake of science and rather for the sake of administration.
He realized that the existing procedures and rules were framed for an altogether different situation.
I wouldn't like to call mend or bend rules, but rather to use the existing rules and regulations to see that what you want done is done in a most expeditious and economic manner. That is all he was doing.